I'm going to attempt to do a voiceover because I can't talk and work at the same time. I'm making a handle here. It's actually a pull handle and a opening handle for the doors on my Roadmaster Coupe conversion.
What do you want, man? I'm busy!
Come back! Get up, busy!
Oh, you're pissing me off.
We're going over stuff here, buddy.
Yeah, I got something for you to go over. Hold on.
I'll go over it. Hey!
That's my no-no spot. Work and leave me alone.
I get tired of your mouth sometimes.
Well, you know what? That makes me feel good. That doesn't bother me or nothing.
Whatever.
Okay, whatever. Whatever. Jackass.
Bud, just...
Yes?
Bud.
This is actually a mock for a mold. I'm going to make the handles out of fiberglass, actually a very dense fiberglass, because it has to be really strong. And I'm going to reinforce it with some type of metal rod also. And even though it's just a mock, I do have to hollow out the back a little bit where your hand goes. I'm not going all the way in, just enough to make an edge so that the mold has an edge.
I thought you got scared. I thought you heard that. You're like, I don't want to touch it again. Yeah, watch your face, bud. He's not joking.
It's not going to kick back.
Okay.
The one in your hand might because it's so long.
Hey! You going to turn the light on this one? Huh? You going to truck or not going to truck? You're doing it.
Use the miter gauge
What's that?
behind your head.
This thing?
Yeah.
Want to push it?
It slides in and move the piece of wood, move the piece of wood, move the piece of wood. Now slide it all the way forward and back a couple times so it slides freely before you start. Now put it back, put the piece of wood up against the fence, hold it firmly to the miter gauge, make sure the miter gauge is set at 90 degrees.
Okay.
Now pull the fence away. Don't hold the piece.
Oh.
Just pull the fence away. There you go. Now you can safely cut.
Yeah, how come no one ever taught me this shit? That's a pretty neat trick there, Dano.
You like that?
I do. He teaches me all kinds of stuff, dude. He was cutting out squares with this thing. Like cutting the middle out of it? Yes. Dude, I was back here one day. I asked him to like trim a little bit off of the dash kit. Yeah, so he puts it in the table saw. Yeah. He cuts everything with the table saw. He cut the inside of a dash kit with the table saw. He's just holding it with his big bear claw and just sticks it down like his fingers are like an inch away from the blade. Like I was nervous just watching it. So is this how you want it, bud?
But I'm careful. No.
Oh fuck.
I said it has to be. Don't say dick, say penis.
What a penis.
That's
Don't
better.
say dick, say penis. Penis.
Not anus. Unless
Say
you.
anus instead of penis.
Okay, just
There's a
checking.
P on the front.
Sorry, it's your a P.
P.
That's your accent or mine.
It's mine.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Mockingbird.
Have you heard? Oh, that's a good idea. I get so good at that.
I started using the table saw when I was like 8 years old.
So I just need something little?
Yeah, use your penis.
Oh, fucking hilarious, dude. You're the funniest old man I've ever seen.
I'm not an old man.
You're old.
I'm ancient.
You're middle-aged.
I'm middle ancient.
Like that?
That means yes to in hamster talk.
Huh?
That means yes in chipmonkeys.
Shit monkeys?
Shit monkeys.
What the fuck is a shit monkey?
That's what happens when you eat too many monkeys.
Ah.
Ah.
I get it.
setting the mock down into a piece of wood so that it just has a small lip. Mainly because if I tried to mold the whole thing, it would end up being too thick and very difficult to remove from the mold. And I save old spray paint cans when they even have just a little in there, because the color doesn't matter. People always walk in and say, "Oh, you're making those red or green," or no. That's just it just smooths them out. This is a quick mold, and but I still want it to be as smooth as possible. I'm blocking the holes with tape and CA, just so that when I make the mold, it doesn't go underneath and create an undercut. And then covering them with mold wax and putting it on pretty thick to start, because there are some pinholes and occasionally these need to be filled, and I'll just take my finger and sort of blob it into the holes, because any pinhole is going to make it more difficult to come off. Now this is just a very limited production. I'm only going to make 2 of these, but still I don't want it to be more difficult than it needs to be.
I'm busy, man. What do you want?
Look on the freaking screen at.
What are you talking about?
Where's my screen?
I will have it done long before they're ready for it.
Oh my god! Can I put my hand in front of the camera?
No. Come on. Go ahead.
No, I'm not doing it.
You know what? These are
You need to clean
dry.
that gun out, dude. It's not spraying good.
But it sprays perfectly. Leave me alone. And when I start crying, that's time to leave me alone. Remember that?
You started laughing. That laugh.
No, this time I did. Jerk. What's up, butt Mongol?
Butt Mongol.
What did I say?
Butt Mongol.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
Damn Mongolians.
Yeah.
How come you never let me do any fun
Do me a
stuff? You
favor.
always make me do shitty stuff.
Oh, I got something really fun for you to do.
What?
Turn the fan on.
It's not that fun.
No, it is.
Did you get a new light back here?
Yeah.
Seems a lot brighter.
That's just the new drugs you're on.
Oh, I'm not on any drugs.
Well, maybe that's what it is.
Not even at all.
Well, then, that's what it is then.
Seeing light through brighter eyes.
Yes, bright eyes. It's up to you, Mongolian carpet puncher.
Mongolian milk machinist.
Oh, milk machinist. Bud juice, delicious free bud juice for sale. Bud juice, delicious bud juice out of a pail. Bud juice, delicious fresh bud juice, by the gallon or the quart. You can stick it in your nose and snort. Bud juice, roly-poly bud juice. Free samples today. Grab your cup or go away.
You don't shut your mouth.
Bud juice, bud juice.
And this is the finished mold, and I'm getting ready to make the castings now. And it's the same procedure. Making the castings, it is making the mold basically in reverse. First the wax to fill any pits and make them smooth. Then PVA, polyvinyl alcohol mold release film is sprayed on. It's best to do that in several light layers, rather than brushing it or letting it, so it doesn't pool. And then I'm starting with a coat of what I call a slurry, which is about 50-50 of polyester resin and body putty, and then I use both hardeners because the hardener for the putty actually has an emulsifier in it that makes it helps it to blend. And then by using the heat gun, it removes any bubbles, brings them to the surface and breaks them. Now, because these are pull handles, they have to be really strong, and I'm starting by taking fiberglass rope, which I use. That's what the fiberglass I use for almost everything is chopped strands from this rope. But I'm leaving the rope whole and putting it around so that the strength is in one direction right there. And I'm actually going to do like 2 layers of this in the layers of fiberglass. The piece itself is going to be actually a very thick casting. I'm not concerned with weight, but with strength. And so there'll be, several layers of resin and fiberglass, and I'm using more resin in the ratio than I normally would, because the resin actually gives it strength, but it makes it brittle. If you use the proper ratio, normally you would have as little resin, just enough to actually separate the fiberglass strands. There's an adhesive on the fiberglass that breaks up because of the chemicals in the resin and spreads them out. In the background, you can probably hear my reason for having difficulty doing voiceovers. I actually have 2 reasons. One is I have brain seizure activity, and sometimes talking is a little difficult. Today I'm actually having kind of a bad day talking, so please forgive me if I stumble my words a little. And the other is we have 5 adopted parrots, and they like to talk whenever they hear me talk. And right now they're being pretty good. This is the first casting. Now, when I started, I was putting the slurry in, and the reason is that gives a sandable surface. And again, I'm not concerned with weight, but more strength in this piece. So that's the reason for these fiberglass, or these threaded rods that I'm putting in. The one through the center is actually going to be the hinge point, because when you pull on the one side, it's going to open the door. When you pull on the other side, the whole thing isn't going to move, but it'll actually be able to pull the door shut. And I'm welding it to the other threaded rods. Now, threaded rods are really good for this because the fiberglass is going to really bond well to these threads. Now, to hold the rods in place, I'm using polyester resin, which has hardener in it, and then I add strands, the fiberglass strands. The adhesive that's on the strands breaks up the more you stir it, and it becomes almost like a jelly. And this is actually a little bit thinner. I have fewer strands than I sometimes use because I want it to really flow around that threaded rod and bond well to it. And as I said before, I'm not really concerned with weight in this particular piece. I just want it to be really strong. The next thing I'll be doing with these handles is making sort of like cups that go on the back, so that visually when you look at it, you're not seeing the back of the door. I don't want just a flat surface back there. I want something that has a little bit of contour, and also be filling in the backs of these further with more fiberglass and putty, and then of course vinyling them, and that'll be a treat. These have a lot of bends and curves, and it should be interesting. I think it's going to make a nice piece. See you in the next video.